Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a LivelyLegz spinnerbait skirt Stonefly. This is going to be a bit of an olive color. The thread I'm going to use is 8/0. It's 70 denier and it's a olive brown. The hook I have in the vise is a 3769 size 8, and this is a 2 extra heavy nymph hook from Green Caddis Outfitters, greencaddis.com. I'm going to start the thread. I'm going to put a base of thread down. We're going to add weight to this, but we're going to put weight on the sides of the hook and not wrap it around it. Get a base of thread down, and I'm going to bring it back forward. Now I took 30 thousandths lead wire or lead-free wire, and I kind of mashed the front of it there just a little bit. We want that front to taper off. We're going to tie this right to the side. And there we go. We're going to get this right to the side. And we're going to bring this down maybe to where the thread is coming to the point of the hook. Go ahead and break that off. And then you can add a few more wraps to secure the end. Now I took the lead, I mashed that front edge once again, and I'm going to tie it on the far side of the hook. And we want to keep these on the sides of the hook. This one I'm going to wrap a little bit tighter. Wrap my thread a little bit tighter. That way I can cover the entire lead on this side of my hook. We'll get down to where the thread is hanging at about the point of the hook. We'll break that off. Make sure that's on the side. Now for the tail, I'm not going to use goose biots because they're a little bit too fat. So I use pheasant tail center, and I use the very top of the feather. And if you look on the bottom here, you can see that there's 2 on each. So I took my head cement and glued 2 of them together. I'm going to go ahead, and there's actually a natural curve on this. I'm going to go ahead and tie them to the sides. Take the opposite one, measure that up to the first, and I'm going to tie it to this side. And we got a nice split tail there. Go ahead and break that one off. Now I have a little bit of a gap in between the lead wraps and the tail tie down, so I can fill that in there. Now here's the spinnerbait skirt that I'm using. It's kind of a little bit olive, but it has these nice markings in it. You can get these spinnerbait skirts, as you know, you could get them in just about any color, any design. And using the spinnerbait skirts is actually, it's a lot cheaper than buying rubber legs. Unless, of course, you want round ones, then the spinnerbait skirts aren't going to work for you. And we're going to bring that thread up. I'm going to bring it all the way up to the top. Now I have the LivelyLegz. These are size medium for a 8 or 10 hook, and these are purple legs. They're dark legs with purple specks in them. You could get them from LivelyLegz.com. And here's the legs. I'm going to cut that front tab right off. You can tell which is the front because you have a right angle on that very front one. So I cut them right off. We're going to tie them in. I'm going to hold that on the sides, you can see. But I'm going to leave about 1 eye length from the eye of the hook. And then we're going to tie them in on top. And you don't want to do any crossovers of the legs. Just go right to the next one right in the back of it. And then you can get that nice and tight to the legs itself. Move that once again. And all it is rubber that's on here. You can use that for leveling off your body. I'm going to go ahead and trim this right there. And then I'm going to bring my thread back up between the second and third set of legs. Now I'm going to take my spinnerbait skirt body and I'm going to wrap that. You don't have to pull it real tight, but you do want tension on there so it's not loose. But you don't have to stretch it. But depending on what color you're using and the design on the spinnerbait skirt, you may find yourself wanting to stretch them. Get that one last wrap behind there. Yep, that one's pushing the leg, so I'm going to just move it to the front and get myself a extra wrap between them. Go ahead and tie them down. And now I can remove that spinnerbait skirt. Now I took a piece of raffia, and I don't quite have the correct color. So I took my markers. I used a green. You can see a green Sharpie. And then I blended it with an orange Sharpie. You can see that side is more blended, so I'm going to want that side on top. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in. Put a little bit more towards me. And of course you have to be careful of those legs. Make sure you're keeping them all aligned. Bring that tight right up to those legs. Now for our thorax, I have a very dark olive possum dubbing. This is really close to the color of the spinnerbait skirt. And that's why I selected that. We're going to go ahead and wrap that. Remember always, you want to keep control of your rubber legs. I'm going to take that forward. I'm going to push that back just a little bit to help make that wing case there. Go ahead and we'll put a wrap in front of it, or on top of it. And then I'm going to continue with my dubbing going forward. Need some more there. Get this one in front of the legs. Get it in front of the front set of legs. You always have to remember the bottom is what's going to be seen, so you want to make sure that the bottom is covered good. I'm going to take my Raffia once again. I'm going to put that little bit of pocket in there. And secure that. You can pick that up. Put a few wraps in front of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. Take our whip finish. Put a little bit of head cement on the threads. And here we have a LivelyLegz spinnerbait skirt Stonefly. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.